Feck. It's episode 10, it's the start of my work week, and today I'm starting off with this reptile enclosure glue up. I want to get this out of the way so I can just carry on with my day. If you haven't been following along so far, essentially I've got to put these 3 shelves into these 3 grooves, which should be quite straightforward. But because the shelves themselves aren't flat, just the way I've sanded them, and the side panels aren't flat, again the way I've sanded them, it's not easy to know when that shelf is bottomed out. And the second thing is that because of the size, I don't have the right clamps to be able to clamp this in place. So I've got to make sure that it seats and then try and weigh it down somehow. So what should be a relatively simple glue up is actually, it's got a potential to fail. First glue up, first half of the whole glue up is done. And everything went pretty well. But I guess that's sort of the benefit of planning out the glue up, is you eliminate all of those mistakes. But not all of them, most of them. All right, that's gonna dry now. I'll give that a good few hours. I won't leave it in 24 hours because even when it comes time to put the other side panel on, it's not really gonna force the glue joins. It's not gonna put too much strain on them because of the type of glue up that it is. So hopefully I'll get that other side panel on today. But now it is back to the urn. I spoke to the client over the weekend and he's asked that I round this corner over more. So I'm gonna give it a big radius similar to these. Not the design choice that I would have gone with personally. I think with these big rounds over here, to have this slightly sharper on the box section looks better, but I'm glad I checked with him first before just powering ahead onto finish. I finished adding oil to this urn and I'm really happy with the sheen that's come up. So it was sanded up to 1200 and then I've used one of these abrasive pads and it's given it such a nice sheen. There you go. Yeah. So hopefully it holds onto this. Once the oil soaks in, it's probably gonna dull a bit, but I'm pretty happy with that. Relief is what I'm feeling right now after finishing this glue up behind me. I've spent days planning out exactly how I'm going to do this, and I've finally done it. It's all gone well. So I am so stoked I get to sleep properly tonight. I thought I should probably also just mention why I ended up going with PVA glue in the end, because in the previous video I said I was going to use epoxy. Basically, I'm very comfortable using wood glue and I haven't used epoxy for glue ups very often, and I find epoxy very messy. So with all of those parts and vertical surfaces for that epoxy to run down, I just thought, nah, I'm not going to take the chance. Yes, it would give me more open time, but I might just create a huge mess which I might not be able to come back from. So that's why I just thought the timing would be tight, but wood glue should give me enough open time to complete it. Just heard a splash in the pool, and I don't know what it was. Oh, I know what it was. I know what it was. Crocodile Dundee, thinking it's some animal is trapped. So, there you are. Hello, my man. Don't worry about me. It's a possum eating the fruit. And he's dropped one in the pool. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday I spent the last bit of the day finishing up the urn. It's now complete and the client is coming to collect tomorrow afternoon. So really excited to be getting a bit more income, but also just to be ticking one off the list. Feels kind of good. But I also made sure I didn't do anything that required any mental load yesterday after finishing up that glue up, because that was that was pretty hectic for me. There's obviously still a lot left to do on this, but from here on out, everything I do is something that can be fixed relatively easy, and they are small changes that aren't, the entire project is not hinging on them. So really it's now about just doing the work, getting it done, and getting one step closer to finishing this behemoth. Although, you know, I call it a behemoth. I hope that in years to come, a project like that is going to be very simple and straightforward, especially what I see coming out from other woodworkers on Instagram. I don't want that to be the limit of my woodworking. I've just adjusted this clamp. Now I need to get around to the other side. So I take a little wander around the cabinet, all the way around the cabinet, and then I come around and I make an adjustment here, and then I think, oh no, that's in the wrong place. So then I take another walk around the cabinet. I need to get my next, I'm going to prioritize my next bench, because working in this tiny corner, I am not having this. All right, that is the top panel done and in place. Basically it was the same as the other one. It's the bottom panel. So this is now the outside of the carcass all taken care of. The next job is going to be to put a back panel on. I got 2 of these sheets from Bunnings for half price. So they were $50 a sheet. It's 2.4 meters by 1200. Absolute score. The reason for it though is there's some water damage, which you can see here. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to sand through that. If I can, awesome. For this project though, I'm just going to be able to cut these parts off and not worry about them. So it's awesome. I've been able to save $50 on the cost of materials for this project just by purchasing this plywood early. All right, that is cut to size, hopefully. We're about to find out together. Let me see how it fits on there. Hang on. That fit first time. Hang on a minute. That fit first time. Wow. I might even call myself a woodworker. Look at that. Awesome. I'm stoked. Morning everyone, I've just got back from Bunnings to get some aluminium channel. So this is what the perspex for the reptile enclosure is going to slide in. In the actual workshop today, I've got a bit of a short day. I've got 100 other things on the go. So just a couple of small jobs, and that's all to do with tightening this up before the back panel goes on. All of these screws for the back panel are now in, which means that the entire unit can't rack side to side. So it's got that strength. So this means that I can now take it off the bench for the first time and see what it actually looks like standing up. This is a big moment. I'm pretty pumped. I think it's stuck. Fuck, I can't lift this. I can't stand it up. It can't stand up. Diagonally, I don't have the height in this workshop. I don't think there's too much damage to it though from the fall. Dan's coming out now, he's going to help me lift it up. I think I've got an idea on how to make this work, how to get it stood up. If I have learned one thing from this experience, there is such a thing as a 2-man lift. My hero! Alright, Dan's here, he's going to help me out. Firstly, thank you so much for coming. Dan's just popped around in like 15 minutes notice, so that's amazing. Okay, stop, down. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted.
Oh my god, I just missed the light.
This is just good, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I've had a chance to have a proper look at it. There is some damage, slight dent there, fairly substantial dent here with some chipping. It's not too bad, it can be fixed. That's okay. This is all going to be sanded back anyway. The main issue is down here, where it's actually split. There's a slight crack running up here. And that's come off. But what I think I'm going to do for this is just lift, put some glue in, and then clamp it down. And then with some sanding, that'll be fine. You know, this isn't going to be under any stress. So I don't think it's too much of an issue, but really, it could have been a lot worse. But with all of that in mind, I am really happy with how this thing looks. It is a big, beefy cabinet, and I'm really excited to move on to the next step and get closer to finishing this thing. I just handed over the urn to the client. They were very happy, no last minute changes, awesome. And he actually made payment while he was here, which is great. It's I don't expect that. You know, you take it away and then when you get home later, you can pay me. But the fact that he wanted to do it here and now was awesome. So that is the first commission ticked off for 2024. Stoked.